if there was ever an appropriate time to have an own moment, I think it'd be this one. I'm not sure I'm going to even post this. This is out of complete respect. I just process grief this way, and I am so incredibly still shooken up and grieving the loss of Charlie Kirk, who I believe to be like a hero. Like I would see some of his videos almost every other day, and I'm not that religious, but I am very spiritual, so I do like to see his perspective on certain spiritual arguments, which I really appreciated to see such an in-depth, well researched and well spoken way of presenting his religious knowledge. And I'm more of a moderate than he was, but I am like heavily conservative leaning. At this point, I'm a Libra, so like, wherever there's an imbalance, I go to where there is more of a balance to make it more balanced and more fair. And at this point in time in human history, like, we need to bring back some morality, and we need to bring things back to family-centered lives, community-centered lives, and so I didn't agree on everything he said. Maybe there's like a 2 or 3 times where I'm like, I don't really know about that, but most of the times I did agree on what he said, and the reason is because he's so reasonable. Like, he would literally go out and ask to debate people who had differing views, not yell at them, not force them to see his way, but to show a different perspective. And he was such a leader. The things that he's done at like around like 18, 19, created an organization, is not in politics, to literally shape the youth in a way that he felt was better for humanity, in a way that would bring back more morality and faith to the next generation. And I do believe that he would have become president, even though he was not in politics, because he cared more about people than he did anything else. And he was such a pure soul. You could feel it in the fact that he had young children and a spouse. Like, that is heartbreaking to lose such a pure soul. Like, and it just goes to show, like, you can see, I knew there was going to be an event in September, but I didn't know this was going to be it. You can see the divide. You can see people who are cheering on the death of someone who is clearly just sharing their opinion, wanted people to live, of all race, of all creed, of all backgrounds, was doing what he felt was best for humanity in a way that didn't harm anyone else, sharing his ideas, wanted people to do better, and using his mind and his words as his weapons. And then to see people use actual physical weapons against someone so pure. And on top of that, you could see everyone kind of celebrating a death of someone who is a father and a husband that is so young, that is making moves in the world, that people look up to as a leader, that people are listening to his words. If it was someone who is obviously spreading words to harm others, spreading words of hate, then of course that would be something different. But just because his version of love didn't match yours, And there's so many people backing him that also were not violent, that took the same approach of nonviolent communication, to debate, to share perspectives. You can see who's actually the violent ones. You can see who actually has a lot of hate in their heart. You can see who actually is pointing fingers everywhere else but themselves. I have an important reading today. Yeah, but I keep getting, like, it's okay to do this reading, because I'm like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like I had a family friend pass away earlier this year, and like, this is how I process grief. It's my way of like looking at it in a way that makes sense to me, or that I can process emotions. And I have an important reading today, a client reading today, and it's a very serious one. And so I was preparing for it all week. But with this happening, I didn't want this grief to affect that reading, because it was so important. But like, I'm like, still very upset. And like, it's coming in waves. I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like weird to be this upset, but like, it just shows like how, like, what a big energy he was. He was a very, very powerful, light side leader, and this is a huge loss. Okay. Yeah, I do feel like he's like a catalyst for things to get going, and I really wish he wasn't the one, but like, if there was a person to kind of get people really, because like the people who are on the side of light, like, they don't want to bring in violence. They don't want to yell and scream and hate. They're talking to people reasonably. They're the ones who do. They might have the guns, but they're not going to use it, Like, that's the kind of energy. Like, they're the ones who believe in God and have faith. And, like, I'm highly spiritual, and I am not religious, but I believe in the credence of all religions. And I also am not, like, an extremist in my political views, although I've been on both sides. I'm more of a moderate, but like, there is a side that is at this time fighting with more light. And this is going to bring in the fire with the folks who have the fire and haven't been using it. It's kind of like, there's a situation I had recently where I had to deal with someone who was that type of energy. Like, they were very, they had a lot of deep-rooted emotional issues with a lot of traumatic experiences in their past. And so they would get triggered at any slight perceived like any perceived slight, and they would just they had a lot of negative energy around them. And because I'm so very spiritual, I was getting very attacked psychically through this person, because they were being used as a vessel. And I was like, I believe in this stuff a little bit here and there, but like, I didn't really see it too much in my life. Like, I've seen a really dark entity enter someone's body before, to attack me. And then I've also seen dark energies that were on clients come attack me through readings a few times. And so I know these things exist. I've had like challenges in the astral and things like that. So like, I know these things exist, but like, I don't see it too often. But like, this was something that like, this person was being used as a vessel, because that they're around someone so filled with light that, and this person didn't know what they were doing, and they claimed to be spiritual. But to be honest, I'm just gonna put my opinion out there. Like with witches, like I know that there are good witches that exist, but not many. Most of them are noobs who do not know what the F they're doing, and they're calling in spirits, and they're being used, and they don't understand that this is what's happening. This is what's happening. They're being used as an agenda to be activated when needed by dark energies. So if you don't know what the F you're doing, and you're not taking the time to really research and figure out and learn to protect yourself and the people and things around you that you love, don't do it. You know, like learn from the people who are masters. Like if you're not going to take out like time from your life to research this stuff before you get into it, diving into something that you don't know is that's so much more powerful than you. Like you're a very powerful sovereign being, and like that will protect you. But like if you don't have the wherewithal to kind of hold on to that energy, you're gonna get attacked, and you're gonna have some things come into your life, and it's gonna be crazy. So like, yeah. So this person who is like a witch or like a newbie, like I don't call them a witch. I call them like wannabe witches. They're just noobs, and they don't know what the F they're doing. And so then she was being used as a vessel for me to get psychically attacked, which is like fine, because like I knew this was like a time of like being really hardcore tested, and like I kept saying like I'm not gonna argue with her, I'm not gonna fight her back, because it's not in my morals or my ethics, it's not part of my values to attack someone acting so unstable, you know. And I can like say exactly what it is, but I'm not even gonna say that because of because I don't want to like call this person names like they were me, and I'm not gonna act and behave like them. But like I was in the best place in my life, health wise, with the people around me, my work, like everything was great. I was fasting a lot because I was doing keto. I was, everything was going well. But to have this person around me constantly was draining my energy. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're constantly around that really, really, really dark, negative energy, like, it's going to start bringing you down. But, like, people who are filled with such light, like, they have so much light, they can keep going. But if they didn't have those negative energies around them, oh, my God, they would be saint-like, right? Yeah, I'm getting father and husband first for him. So he always said that, and everyone that like talked about him was like always say that first. He's like, a husband and father first. He's a husband and father first. And that's everyone's number one role. Is your role in your family is always going to be your number one role in this lifetime. Like, everything else you do is extra, but like there's that saying that like a good man can take care of himself, a great man can take care of himself and his family, and a man can like, take care of the world. So like all that's asked of you in this lifetime is to take care of yourself, right? So if you're doing that, and that's like the baseline of getting up every day and being able to take care of yourself, like, you're doing great in the world. There's a lot of people who can't do that, and like asking for help is not a problem. We all are born with different gifts and abilities and lessons in life. But if you are able to get up and take care of yourself, that is wonderful. And that means taking care of yourself in every single way, which is like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. If you can do that, you're already killing it in this world, because that is so difficult to just live like in that way in this lifetime, right? If you can do that, you're already doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime. And then if you can do that and you take care of your family, so whether if it's a family you were born into, the family that you create, you're doing great. You're doing excellent. You're going above and beyond. You're helping to take care of others, your loved ones. That's special. That's beautiful. And then you kind of work outwards, like if you can take that much on, that's already like you're doing excellent. You're doing wonderful. But if you have the energy to take on more, and you can help the community, or being called to it, your talents, your natural abilities, or just your energy allows you to take on more. And maybe it's not always and every time, but like once in a while even, that's wonderful. Like that's extraordinary. Not a lot of people can do that. That's why it's extraordinary. And so then you become a type of leader. And then some people are chosen to take on even more. And those people are legendary. And this man was very, very much so legendary. He left behind a legacy. And that's why the loss is so big, is because he had filled such big shoes. Like what he did, most people can't do, or won't do, or are unable to do, or, like, that takes so much strength, and that takes so much talent and skill and knowledge and ability and willpower. There's so many people who have potential, but not many people who have that willpower. Okay. I do believe that his words are going to be brought even stronger onto like a platform or stage at this time, because he said such powerful things. Like, even like I would like take notes, like, oh yeah, like, this is a good way to explain this to someone, or to see this different perspective, or even from my own understanding, it's like, oh, this might be how other people see things, or this is like another way to see this situation. As someone who's spiritual, I like to see all perspectives, and from a higher point. Like, that this man taught me so much, and he did it in such a beautiful way, where he sat down and talked to people one-on-one, very diplomatic, very kind, in a very kind way, where they were like, be like, I understand your point of view, this is mine. I think his words are gonna be brought up and shown and looked over and presented even stronger now. Yeah. I'm so sad that he it had to be him, but like it couldn't be anyone else. No one had that light and that strength and that power in the words like he did. He's an intellectual, very high IQ. So he's able to form ideas and sentences and present them in ways that would resonate with people, and that, followed logic and followed reason, and but also had like, a full strength of like faith behind it, like he brought the two together, and like not everyone brings the two ideas together in this way, like science and spirituality, like logic and like faith. Like, it's very like that's the beauty in seeing how people bring those two together, because that's going to be your own unique fingerprint, like how you see the world, how you combine the two. It's different for everyone, and some people cast aside one side completely, and that's not how this reality works. And some people have extreme views, but like to be able to have a really good balance of the two in your own mind, in the way that you reason, the way that you see things, like it's very, very beautiful to see how people do that. Yeah. Okay. The world. Wow. Big cards coming up. Yeah. There's this like energy of like being like a father figure to the world, and he was someone who helped the youth understand themselves better through his ideas, through his words, and he helped so many people, and like you can't discredit that. Like, he helped so many people like kind of find their footing in this world, because so many people neglect the youth. Like, there's so many the parents are going to work and like don't have time for their children. The teachers, like I don't know what's happening with the education system here. And then like what they have for influence is all these like influencers who are very egotistical or selfish and self-centered and don't give a f about like passing on good virtues and values to the next generation. They just care about making their own money. And then that's the people who are teaching our children. Like, are you kidding me? And so then we have all these people, young adults, who are ready to go into the real world and have like no understanding of themselves and no understanding of the real world and no understanding of like what they want to do or what's out there, and even their own role in that world, and what they want out of life. Like and then someone like this comes along and shares that, like I can, as a millennial, like I definitely desperately crave that. And that's why I went so much into the left ideology, is because like that's all there was that was like teaching me. It was just teaching me to be angry at others, because it was bringing out the anger in me that didn't have any guidance, that didn't have any knowledge of the real world, that didn't really have didn't know that what I was missing, because I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't know what to research because I didn't know what was missing, but I just know something was. And then that they played off that emotion, they played off that anger. And I went through all those like questions, like, am I like my what is my sexuality? Like, I dyed my hair purple. Like, this is how I feel about these politics because that's the only things I saw on TV. And like, and it makes me angry because like no one took even 2 seconds to show me like, a better path, or the path that like made me kind of figure out who I am and what I believe, rather than just taking information and shoving it down my throat that was for someone else's agenda, So it's kind of like if that was me, like imagine how much worse it is now. If that was what it was like 15 years ago, like imagine how worse it is now, for kids, like these college students. Okay. I do think this is going to catalyze a lot of like light workers to kind of move forward in some way, like speaking their truth. Like I feel like a lot of light workers, like we've been quiet because like not only are we kind of hiding what we believe because we didn't want to be shamed, we don't want people to look at us like we're different. Like we had people who are like our families shun us, our closest friends shun us, and then us have to kind of like be like release and let go of folks who didn't support our transition, our transformation, our spiritual awakening, our differing points of view. And a lot of us have worked through that, and you can see who's like going to be really there for you and who's not. Like even now, like I have someone in the family who's going to be going to the hospital soon, and they're like, oh, like this is very important, so like I know that you don't have these shots, and we want to figure out how to proceed with this. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. Like you stick to your conviction. I'm really happy that you are sticking to your convictions. It's hard to nowadays, and do right by your family. And I'm gonna stick to my convictions, and that's totally fine. Like we can figure this out, and we drew up a plan that would work for us. Even though I heard these stories like where because of your certain beliefs you can't see loved ones when they're in the hospital, and like it's like such a like why do we live in this world where it has to be like this or that, like so black and white? Like why can't we live in a world where it's like you have your beliefs and I have mine and we can still work together? Why can't you do that? Yeah, we're always gonna have people open up. Like I think like with whatever like what's going to happen is that people are going to see who he really was. The people who can't see it now, they're going to be awakened to what he was actually about, what his words actually meant, where his perspective actually came from, this is going to help a lot of people who are unfortunately and disgustingly celebrating his death see what this man and his ideology and his words were really, really about. Yeah, there's a sense that a lot of people are lost, and like we know this. Like if you're spiritually awakened or if you're a truth seeker, like these are the two communities that I've been in for a very long time. And so I know, like we can see like all the changes that have been happening in the collective over, like it doesn't happen overnight, but it happens like with events that are unfortunately very big like this, and they affect a lot of people, and it happens over time. And you can see that like so many people are lost, and I can see it like even around me. Like I live in an area where people have such differing views than I do, and it was like so hard living here. But like it's more sad to see how lost people are. For me, who's so empathic, and it's like you can see when people like come home, because like I have some friends and family members who've been like kind of working with me, and like you can see the changes that they've made because and the influence that like I'm not gonna say like I'm the one who had the influence on them, but like just like me and people like us, like just kind of like opening up our hearts and our minds in a very like kind way. How when people like hold space for each other, like how much of an impact it has on people who have lost their way, and like they're like petulant children. They're like they're toddlers having tantrums, and it's really, really hard to be that parent who kind of, or that sibling or that loved one who just kind of holds space for them, even though they're kicking and punching and scratching at your face. Like, and that's why you can't do it for everyone, and you can't do it for so long for that specific person all the time, because we're human too, and we have feelings and we get hurt as well. But like as much as you can, and light workers have been doing that, truth seekers have been doing that, for these folks who are lost. It's like we've been lost too, and like we're finding our ways, and this is what helped. And like not just throwing it down people's throat, but like when people ask questions, when people are open to having conversation or open to having a debate, then gently, kindly presenting your ideas. And like how sad is it that like we can't even be our full selves in front of people because they might be violent against us. Like I've had threats so many times living here. Like I had to like keep myself quiet. I couldn't be who I fully am. And that drains on your energy like in other ways. Like that like cripples like your natural abilities and your ability to speak, and it holds you back. It holds you down. So like to be around that energy constantly is like really, really like not good for you. And so there's like a moment where it's like good to be around contrast, people who oppose your opinions and beliefs, so you can learn from them, they can learn from you. But then to be around that energy consistently is not good. It's not good because it will it'll hold you back. Yeah, we keep getting communication. I do get that there's it's like they're gonna shut up and listen. They're gonna shut up and listen now. So apparently they're gonna shut up and listen. Let's see. Yeah, there's gonna be a new. Okay, so I'm getting old structures and old faith. Okay, so the thing about the right side is that their stability and security comes from old structures, the belief that their religion gives them, and their very, very old and long-lasting religion, and also the current governmental system, which they feel like is a really good basis, is kind of but just like needs to be kind of tweaked kind of, and like it, at the foundation, it's like what it represented and what it was there for was it's really really well thought out and well designed. And so I do feel a bit of that energy coming back, where they're gonna make people think, oh, like, oh yeah, like we've seen a lot of people come back to Christianity. A lot of folks who were born in a Christian household that left. You can see a lot of people coming back. You can see it a lot on social media. So that is something that is happening. I've seen like some of my friends who are in like the spiritual, who went into spirituality, come back to Christianity. It's mostly people who are witches. People who were in like the witchy area came back to Christianity. There is something with paganism that like it's like really beautiful, but I think the way that it's been distorted in modern society is using these people and this ideology for an agenda. So it's being it's been hijacked. This like beautiful religion that relates to nature. I do think it's hijacked. And these are my opinions. You don't have to agree with them, but like this is what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's gonna force people to go within. Is this like I do believe it's gonna wake up a lot of people who are ready. Who's ready to step up and lead now. I do believe that. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune again. It's almost time, I'm hearing. Almost time for what? Yeah, faith, hope. It came out in hand face down, so I feel like it's like to turn the page. Yeah, more inspirational leaders that are bringing hope and faith back into the collective. It's kind of one of those moments where like people can't see how far gone they are. Like people are so lost and they can't see it, kind of thing. But I do feel like there's like an opening of the door. There's going to be like people who kind of come together to bring more of this like visionary leadership to the forefront. I feel like there's going to be groups, small groups, very, very small groups, but like enough for, because I feel like people need support. I feel like what Charlie Kirk did at such a young age, that's, like, you have to be an extremely strong person. You have to be an extremely smart and wise person to be able to do that. And not everyone has that, right? But if you had, like, maybe one or a few or a small handful of people to kind of lean on and support and be able to be these, like, grassroots visionary leaders for your community, and some even more than that, like online or even, like, larger groups, like, you might need some people to lean on and help one another to be like 1/10 of what his energy was, 1/20th of what his energy was, you know, one 1/100th of what his energy was, you know. But that is enough to kind of move things, start a movement like that. And that's I mean, all I think people that like really, really saw him as like a hero and a really, really pure soul that was, you know, doing great things in the world would want. And, you know, I'm still not seeing that fire being lit, because I think it's really hard for folks that are this like kind-hearted and hardworking and really faith-based and like logical and reasonable, can see things from a higher perspective, to get angry anymore. It's like really hard to get like angry or mad or like like let depression take over you. Like even if you do feel these things, like you can you can handle your emotions. It's people who can handle their emotions and people who can't. People who know how to work within their mind and their body and their spirit, and people who can't. Like it's like a really huge divide. This is the 3D 5D shift. People who've been working on themselves and who can keep a balanced energy within themselves, and people who clearly can't. And these are people who clearly are imbalanced. Yeah, are you kidding me? I was like literally looking at the 5 of Pentacles, like people who are lost, people who lost their way. But I do feel like this is a great time for people to kind of unite in small ways. I'm getting privately to share their like abundance. To share what kind of abundance. I'm getting there's going to be like, we can see that there's something coming up. This is something that we've been seeing is coming. Some tough times ahead. And this is really going to be a time where it's going to be necessary to have people and resources that you can rely on. It's so funny. As I said that, like my new roommate just messaged me saying like, "Hey, do we have these like appliances, or should I bring my own?" So like already like, yeah, sharing resources. What a confirmation right there. Okay. Okay. So yeah, there's gonna be like a thing about, I don't know why, but like being around more like-minded folks who you can like rely on, like they might have a garden, you have a garden, or like you can borrow their tool and they can borrow your tools. They can babysit your kids. You can babysit their kids or pets or whatever. So there's like this like kind of energy of like finding people that you can rely on, and finding people that kind of have your voice, and like where you can like spread that voice. There's definitely an energy of people who are ready to come into, like, who are doing well because they worked on themselves, and they're like mentally strong, physically strong. Like that's the best kind of leader, right? The best leaders who are those who are emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually strong in every which way, right? That's where you have the best energies. And if you disagree with that, then we have fundamental differences. Like the strongest people are those who are the strongest mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And you might be like, what about people who are disabled? Yeah, like those aren't always going to be the leaders. And granted, like there might be someone who's like very intellectual, who has very good ideas. It might be handicapped in some sort of physical way. Yeah, of course they can still be leaders. There might be someone who is mentally handicapped, but that is like very, very physically strong, whatever. Like, there's a lot of these combinations, but like the best leaders are going to be ones who have really strong energies in all these ways, right? It's just irrefutable. And if you like disagree with that, it's like there might be a reason why you disagree with that, Okay, I'm just going to pull a card on that, like, reunion, and then I'm going to pull one more, and then I'm going to wrap up this reading because it's, like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, working with people, like small groups, and this is a reunion card, right? Like, people who have, like, fundamental values as you. And, like, this is something that I had as even a kid. Like, I didn't like people, like, I didn't like to see other people hurting other people or saying bad things about other people. I try to stand up to other people's bullies. I try to help out the down and trodden, or people, the person like that was outcasted. Like, that was who I was, right? That's who I am, and that's who I still am. And like, that's, you can see at a young age, like, that's still what I want to do. I went to like a wedding recently because see like kind of my henna is fading, but like I remember talking to my cousins, and my cousins like, yeah, they're so funny, they're hilarious, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not as funny as my cousins. Like they can tell stories, they have huge belly laughs, all of them, and they're, you know, like I was talking to a couple of my cousins that are younger, a bit younger, and they're so cute, and they're talking about how they were at the like hotel bar or something like that, and the bartenders mentioned like, oh yeah, I didn't know how to make this drink, and then they were just kind of like telling the bartender this and that just like for fun. And I'm like, I can't use other people an expense for my laughter or at the expense of for my joy, you know, like I can't do that. And it's like, you know, this is like a lighthearted, like, you know, fun poking, like a fun poke at this person, but like I'm like, I can't even do that. Like I can't like laugh at the expense of others, you know, like unless it's someone who I like know and like we've known each other for a while and like we're good friends or something like that. But like I'm like, I can't even do that. And so maybe I realized I'm like, I really need to find people who have the same sense of humor as me, because I would love to laugh more. It was like, it's been so long. I found like someone who is like a soulmate friend recently, and it's just like we were laughing and laughing, and it was just like innocent kind of type of jokes, or more like just like more lighthearted, more pure kind of sense of humor, and it's just like, oh my god, like I definitely needed this kind of laugh, and they needed it too, and it's just like so sweet to be able to laugh, but with someone who has the same sense of humor as me, which is more pure-hearted and not at the expense of others, and not like mean, and not like, you know, like it was just kind of like, it's like, oh yeah, like maybe I do need to find people who are more like me, right? So it's kind of like that energy. And I want to kind of wrap this up with like his message or what's happening next or something like that. What good can we take out of this like horrific event? Family. Oh my god, my heart just like jumped out of my chest, and I almost like cried again when I saw this card, because this is the card that kept coming up when like I was like, should I do this reading? Like I don't want to be disrespectful, but this is how I cope with grief. And like if I do even post it, it's gonna be on my channel that's like private, like literally like there's like 5 people on it. Like because this is out of respect for him. This is out of like I want to like, I don't know, like I'm like so stuck in my words, but like commemorate him in some sort of way, like, and like these feelings, and like I don't know, it's just, and all these like thoughts, and all these like all this like outpouring of love that I'm seeing from like everyone, for someone who was like truly great, you know. Like I don't even know how people are like posting about it and like talking about him in the past tense, and like even like I'm about to like shake, like even like talking about it, because I'm still in like shock, like people like posting like pictures and memorandum and stuff like that. I'm like, I still can't believe it. Like I still can't, it still hasn't like, it's not real to me yet. And I'm like, and I get like, I guess that people who are real presenters, real media hosts and influencers, like you have to have the strength to speak in tragic moments, and like to speak to others, and like that's why they have to like kind of like hold back their tears and like hold it together and like present the news. But like I don't know if I can do that. Like I'm not there. Like, and like so I'm like finding my role, and like, okay, like this is my limits. This is how much I can do. And yeah, I'm dealing with this whole career transition at this time. But like then this happens, and then anyway, I kept seeing the 10 of Cups that kept coming up. And that is the number one thing that I love about, and why I moved more onto the right, is because they put family at the center. And that is so incredibly important to me. And I could not find a better reason to, better focused, better thing, better, I don't know, I'm so out of sorts, I'm so sorry. Better focus in life to be around is family and community. Like that is exactly, like you can see like him kept talking about his wife and children, how important they are, and like that was like number one thing, no matter what he's doing in life, and like that's so important. And so like yeah, like I was like thinking like when I first like after I was like I'm still processing it, but like this is why it's like it's bringing me back to family, and that in that sense, and like I'm so truly grateful for him and people like him who like brought me back to my center and my heart, which is family. Yeah, okay, love coming in. I do think this is gonna like definitely bring like people together. Like I definitely do think like this is gonna help people find each other, because I think it's gonna make folks like us like a little bit more courageous in speaking our truth and finding our people, because it's gonna be making it this everything like every major event like this makes it easier to see people who are not in the heart space, not balanced, have a lot of inner work to do, can't tolerate others because they can't tolerate things within themselves, who have a low threshold for pain and understanding and reason, and those who do have a lot of love and compassion and are challenging themselves to hold more and more space for folks who don't. And how appropriate, my beautiful baby soul kitten just arrived from being outside for a bit. Hi, baby. Okay. Hi, I see you. Yep, okay. Okay. And you can see, people who have that loving tendency towards others and to animals and to the world and to communities, and those who are different than them. That's a true testament. Like how do you treat people who are different than you? You know, who have different beliefs than you, who have a different lifestyle to you. That's the most important part. Hi, baby. Oh, okay. Squishy. Sorry, she touches the camera wire. That kind of get a new camera wire. Okay. Yeah. So it's like it's gonna be kind of like folks finding each other, and I do think it comes with love, because I feel like there's like a resurgence of like finding partners and creating families and creating communities again. Like that's the kind of energy I'm feeling, but it starts with like one thing, right? And it starts with like maybe finding one or a few people who resonate with you, finding your partner, finding a few friends, like living around people who resonate with you. Like, you know, that's all you need sometimes. Sometimes all you need is just like your true few. And then watch how just having that amount of love and support, just like having one or two or three people around you who really, really get you, are on the same page as you. Watch how much that empowers you to help your community more and take on more responsibility in the world. Like, watch. Yeah, so I see that happening for a lot of folks. It's so heartbreaking because he's like leaving behind kids and a wife who are so young. He's younger than me by 4 years, so like for me, I'm like, oh my god. But it's gonna push a lot of people like us to kind of like get going on that, building your family, building your, you know, partnership and your home and your close friendships and like with other couples and other families, and you know, see like that is gonna start a movement in itself. So yeah, thank you. God bless Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, and much love and light.